Hello. Welcome. Today you'll need 2 blocks and something to pad your knees. I happen to use a rubber little cushion. You can use a blanket or a throw pillow. That works. If you don't have blocks, things that can work are big books or something else in your household that's kind of sturdy that you can move to put your hands on when we're in different poses. Come and find a comfortable seated position. So that could be sitting up on your throw pillow, a blanket, or even take a block and place it underneath both sit bones. Do this if your low back feels painful if you're sitting directly on the floor, or even tight and if you're rolling forward. Now shift in your seated position, press into your feet and shift your shoulders back so that the back of the shoulders align up with the back of the hips. And you're not going to be able to see this, so feel it. You might feel like you're going to be tipping backwards. And again, if your knees start lifting up higher and higher, sit up on a block or even a chair. Then lift your chin up so that you feel for the chin being level with the floor. Then slide the back of the skull straight back. The back of the skull lines up with the back of the shoulders and with the back of the hips. Now pull your belly in so you support all that. Ujjayi breath. I'm going to demo this first in 3 stages. The first stage we do with the mouth open for both the inhale and exhale. So Ujjayi breath is an oceanic sounding breath. It's made by running the breath along the backside of the throat, gently constricting the backside of the throat to make that sound. The first stage looks and sounds like this. So let's do the first stage together. Open your mouth. Inhale, run the breath along the backside of your throat. Exhale, keep the mouth open. Run your breath along the backside of the throat. Now I skipped a stage, so we're going to back up a little bit. But that was good to start feeling that. These muscles that you gently constrict or activate really are the same muscles that are activated when we whisper. So let's all whisper the word whisper together. Whisper. Now let's do that again. Feel those muscles at the back of your throat. Everyone whisper the word whisper. Whisper. Now we're going to repeat stage 1. Feel for activating those same muscles at the back of your throat. Open your mouth. Take a deep, slow inhale, feeling the back of your throat start activating. Keep the mouth open. Exhale gently all your breath out, using the muscles at the back of your throat. Feel the breath run along them. That was great. Now, stage 2. I'm going to show it first. It's done with the mouth open on the inhale, still making that whisper or oceanic sound. But the exhale is done with the lips gently touching together. So the exhale is through the nostrils, and that looks and sounds like this. So let's do that together. Open your mouth, take a deep, soft inhale. Gently bring the lips together, exhale through the nose, continuing that whisper sound. That was great. Now, third stage is the final stage. It's Ujjayi breath. It's done with the inhale and the exhale with the lips gently touching. Still running the breath along the backside of the throat to make that oceanic sound. It looks and sounds like this. So let's do that together. Gently bring your lips together. Inhale through the nostrils, feeling for gently coming into that oceanic sound. Run your breath along the backside of your throat. Exhale the breath out. Keep the lips gently closed. Make that whisper sound with your breath. Great. Now continue your Ujjayi breath as you listen. We practice with Ujjayi breath through the whole practice until the very end. It not only slows down the breath, but when the breath slows down and makes this slight sound, it helps to calm the nervous system. And then over time, as you practice Ujjayi breath, you'll feel that it actually helps to expand your breath in a slow but deep way. And once you get your breath deeper and deeper and deeper, you might start feeling that connection to feeling more spacious, feeling more calm, more quiet. So it doesn't matter if you feel these things yet. This is a practice. So use this Ujjayi breath to inhale all along your spine. Start at the base of your skull. Send your breath down through the neck, the upper back, mid back, low back, down into your sacrum, and pull the breath at the bottom of the pelvic bowl. Pull your belly in a little bit, unless you're pregnant. Exhale all the breath out. Feel for pulling your breath up along the spine, so you can start feeling in these areas around your spine. Now as you inhale, feel again along your spine, feeling for somewhere in your back along the spine that might feel tight or constricted, a little achy or tweaky, or it might actually feel painful. And if you have more than one area that feels any of these things, just feel for which of these spots is most interesting for you today, right now. Doesn't have to be really tight along your spine. You could spread your breath out along the whole width of the back, from bottom to top as well as side to side, feeling. Could be on one side of the spine, could be on the other side, could be more central. And if you are having a difficult time feeling for a spot, it's your low back. Your spot will be your low back. So everyone, inhale, feel the breath move into your spot. And if you need to use a hand and bring your hand to wherever your spot is, if your hand can reach, you can do that. If your spot is somewhere in the upper back, it might feel more comfortable to bring your hand up this way. Breathe and feel, either with the hand on your spot or not. Exhale all the breath out, running your breath through your spot. The intent today is to continually bring your attention and your breath into your spot in such a way that you can use your breath to start making space in your spot. This is the beginnings of moving away from tightness, feeling a little more softness, or moving away from pain-free in your spot. But for now, you're just breathing in to your spot to make space. Great. Now, come onto your backs. We're going to start off with Forrest Yoga abdominals. So if you're pregnant, what you're doing instead is a pelvic tilt with a block or a folded up pillow or rolled up pillow between your thighs on your pubic bone. Feet stay on the floor, head stays on the floor. It's inhaling, pressing your low back into the floor, spreading the back ribs on the floor. Exhale, squeeze the sit bone muscles to scoop your tailbone towards the knees, pressing into your feet. Activate your feet, spread and lift the toes. And you'll keep doing that while the rest of us do basic abs with a prop. So everyone has their prop on. Everyone else, clasp your hands behind the base of the skull, elbows up. Spread the toes, press into your feet, everyone. Press your mid back into the floor, even if it's not your spot, spread it into the floor. Inhale, feel your ribs move across the floor. Hold the breath, spread the low back down, scoop your tailbone up, squeeze your prop. Exhale, lift the head and shoulders up. Feel for using your abdominal muscles and not your chin or your neck. Pull your low belly down. Inhale, keep the low back pressing into the floor. Bring the shoulders and head to the floor. Hold the breath, scoop the tailbone up, squeeze your prop. Exhale, lift the head and shoulders up. Let your head be heavy. Pull your low belly down. Inhale, shoulders and head to the floor. Hold the breath, scoop the tailbone up, squeeze your prop. Exhale, lift the head and shoulders up. Pull your low belly down. Inhale deeply into your spot. Bring the shoulders and head to the floor. Hold the breath, scoop the tailbone up, squeeze your prop. Exhale, lift the head and shoulders up. Get a little higher off of your shoulder blades. Use your feet, press into them. Pull the low belly down. Inhale, keep spreading the low back into the floor, shoulders and head to the floor. Hold the breath, scoop the tailbone up, squeeze your prop. Exhale, lift the head and shoulders up. Get a little higher off of your shoulder blades. Use those abdominal muscles, especially the upper ones. Now pull the low abdominals towards the floor. Inhale, shoulders and head to the floor. Unwind. Remove your block. For those who are pregnant, everyone else is moving into something called basic elbow to knee. So if you're pregnant, you can do the leg portion. Head stays down, feet stay down until we get to lifting the knee over the hip. And you could do this part, no holding the breath, no pulling the belly down. What you can do instead is pull your side, transverse abdominal muscles in towards your center line. Keep spreading the low back in the floor. Everyone else, clasp your hands behind the base of the skull, elbows up. Basic elbow to knee. Feet stay on the floor, spread and lift the toes. Feel for pressing into your feet so the backs of your thighs start activating. Squeeze your sit bone muscles a little bit. Then inhale, press your low back into the floor, lift the head and shoulders up. Hold the breath, spread the low back down, scoop your tailbone up. Engage those sit bone muscles. Exhale, lift the left knee directly over the hip. Now it's a tiny twist. Bring both elbows pointing towards your left thigh. Pull your low belly down. Inhale, foot to the floor, come back to center. Head stays up. Hold the breath, spread the low back down, scoop your tailbone up. Exhale, elbows towards the right knee. Pull the low belly down. Inhale deeply, foot to the floor, come back to center. Hold the breath, spread the low back down, scoop your tailbone up. Exhale, elbows towards the left knee. Pull the low belly down. Breathe in, foot to the floor, come back to center. Hold the breath, spread the low back down, scoop your tailbone up. Exhale, elbows towards the right knee. Pull the low belly down. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, bring the head down just for a moment. Keep the hands where they are. Breathe in and assess. If this felt like your version for today, keep your feet on the floor. As long as you're not pregnant, if you have further to go, the knees come back over the hips rather. Feet lower than the line of the knees, spreading the toes, lifting the toes. If you're pregnant, you're continuing with the basic version, keeping your head down. Everyone else, press your low back into the floor. Squeeze those sit bone muscles. Inhale, lift the head and shoulders off of the floor. Hold the breath, spread the low back down, scoop your tailbone up. Exhale, elbows towards the left knee. And bring the right leg straight up towards the ceiling. Pull the low belly down. Inhale, come back to center. Hold the breath, spread the low back down, scoop your tailbone up. Exhale, elbows towards the right knee. Left leg straight up towards the ceiling. Keep pressing your back on the floor. Pull the low belly down. Inhale, come back to center. Hold the breath, spread the low back down, scoop your tailbone up. Exhale, elbows towards the left knee. This time, right leg straight out, 3 feet off the floor. If your low back does not like that, bring the leg straight up towards the ceiling again. Pull your low belly down. Inhale into your spot, come back to center. Hold the breath, spread the low back down, scoop your tailbone up. Exhale, elbows towards the right knee. Left leg straight out, 45-degree angle. Pull the low belly down. Inhale, come back to center. Hold the breath, spread the low back down, scoop your tailbone up. Knees come straight up, not towards your chest. Exhale, elbows towards the left knee, right leg straight. Keep pushing through the ball of the right foot. Pull your low belly down. Inhale deeply, come back to center. Hold the breath, spread the low back down, scoop your tailbone up. Exhale, elbows towards the right knee, left leg straight. Pull the low belly down. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, bring your head, bring your feet down. You can move your hands to your low belly if that helps you feel. But everyone, inhale, breathe into your low hands. If you have your hands, breathe underneath them. Breathe and feel. You might start feeling heat, energy, your abdominal muscles waking up. As you exhale, rinse that energy, that heat in and around your spot. Use it to start waking up your spot to other sensations. Bridge over a block. So make sure your block is grabbable. We'll use it in just a moment. Graze the back of your heels with your longest fingertips. Feet parallel, hips width apart. Spread your toes, lift your toes. Spread your arms, palms up, shoulder blades away from the ears. Push into your feet. So when you push into your feet, feel how that helps to rock the top of the pelvis, the top of the sacrum towards the floor. Now, utilize your sit bone muscles, squeeze them towards your tailbone. Feel how that starts engaging your abdominal muscles, so you're already supporting your low back. Inhale through your whole back. Exhale, push into your feet, scoop the tailbone up, and lift your hips towards the ceiling. Keep your head steady, just adjusting my hair. Inhale underneath your sternum, lifting your sternum towards the chin. Exhale, push into your feet, squeeze those sit bone muscles, and use the sit bone muscles to slide your tailbone towards the back of the knees. Feel how your legs, the back of the legs especially, start getting more and more activated. Inhale spaciously into your side ribs. Then as you exhale, grab your block. Before I forget that I said we're going over the block. Place your block underneath your sacrum on the highest, most comfortable edge for you. So there are 3 heights. And if you get it on one of the heights and it feels super uncomfortable, or you had to really force yourself on that height, back out, take the block off, and turn it to the next lowest edge. The block is underneath your sacrum and not your low back. Inhale into your side ribs right near the armpits. Exhale, push into your feet. So even though the block is there, keep your legs active. Gently, isometrically squeeze your knees towards each other so you start feeling your inner legs start waking up. Smooth out your breath. Use the opening of the front body to run your breath along the whole front of your body. And as you exhale, start rinsing that opening, that spaciousness that you're creating, that energy of that into your spot. And if your spot's not ready to receive that, rinse it around your spot. push into your feet. Inhale, curl your pubic bone towards the belly button. Lift off the block enough to remove it. Stay up. Press into your feet. Take a deep, spacious breath in, lifting the sternum towards the chin. Exhale, curl the tailbone towards the back of the knees and come down in increments. First the upper back. Keep pressing through your feet, then the mid back. Scoop the tailbone up, then the low back. Then set your tailbone to the floor. Bring your hands onto your thighs. If possible, the heels of the hands in your hip creases for back traction. Spread your breath through your back. Exhale, gently push forward and slightly up with your hands. Some of you might be able to straighten your arms, but if you can't, that's okay. The shoulders are going to hike up. Allow them to do that. Feel for traction in your back. Some of you might feel better with the tailbone scooping towards the back of the knees, so you really get the top edge of the sacrum spreading on the floor. But if that feels tweaky, you can try slightly moving your pubic bone away from your belly button so that that top rim of the sacrum lifts away from the floor a tiny bit. Your back bottom ribs are still spreading and pressing into the floor. Gently release. Turn all the way over to your side and press up with your hands to sit. Once you're all the way up, use your left hand underneath the cheek to lift your head back up. Come on to hands and knees for some cat-cow. If already coming into this tabletop position hurts your knees, grab your blanket, put it underneath your knees for padding. If your knees still do not like that, you can do cat-cow in a high squat with hands on the thighs for support. So it's inhaling, belly and chest forward, tailbone back. Exhale, tailbone down, round the spine towards the back of the room, tuck the chin, and continue doing that, pressing into active feet. Everyone else, keep your wrists right underneath your shoulders, though your hands can be slightly wider than your shoulders. Relax your neck. Now tuck your toes, inhale, drape your belly towards the floor, pull the chest forward, and you can lift your chin slightly. Keep pressing through the toes. Exhale, bring the tops of the feet onto the floor, round the back towards the ceiling, and pull your belly in a little bit. If you're pregnant, you can do this, but don't pull your belly in. Inhale, tuck the toes, pull the chest forward, shoulder blades away from the ears. Exhale, round the back towards the ceiling, press into the tops of the feet. Inhale. Exhale. Keep your breath long and smooth. Connect the movement with your breath and send your breath into your spot. Come back to neutral. We're moving into turbo puppy. Walk your hands forward 4 inches. Spread your fingers, spread the thumbs. And then look at the hands. Make sure that that webbing between the pointer finger and the thumb is spreading and pressing into the floor. Then relax your neck, let your head hang. Inhale, push into your hands, spread your breath into the upper back. Exhale, bend the elbows straight down towards the floor, but keep them 4 inches away from the floor. They're not touching the floor. Breathe in from your left armpit all the way across the back into your right armpit. Exhale, feel the outer edges of your shoulder blades and move them around towards the armpits and gently, isometrically squeeze your elbows towards each other. Inhale, breath, get it spacious. Send it through the upper back and then into your spot. Exhale, pull your front mid ribs in slightly. So you're supporting your spine not only with your abdominal muscles, or I should say not only the low abdominal muscles, but also the upper abdominal muscles. Down dog. First, straighten your arms. But that same wrapping the shoulder blades, keep that going. Press into your hands. Relax your neck. Spread your breath into the upper back. You can stay here, but if you have further to go, tuck the toes. Exhale, hips towards the ceiling. You can keep your knees bent if this is better for your back or your hamstrings. Or you can work towards straightening the knees. The heels do not need to touch the floor. So don't make them touch the floor thinking that that's the priority. It's not. But energetically send your heels towards the floor. Even if you have the knees bent, feel for sending the weight of your heels down a little bit. Inhale through the upper back. Exhale, wrap those outer edges of the shoulder blades towards the armpits. Keep pressing through your hands. You can always bring the knees down if you're feeling anything is moving more and more towards pain. If it's a muscle pain, stay there and breathe into it. But joint pains or a sharp pain, come down. Now we're gonna walk forward, so bend your knees. Keep the hips high, walk the feet forward. Keep the knees bending. Walk the feet as forward as you can. If that hurts, come up in any way that you can. But if you're here, keep the knees bent, hips way back. So the knees are almost over your ankles. We're gonna come up with a supported standing up. Hands on your thighs. Inhale, round the back towards the ceiling. Use your hands, press into your thighs to stand up. Exhale, squeeze those sit bone muscles, send your tailbone towards the floor. Basic Uddiyana. If you're totally new to Uddiyana, you can stop this video. There is a pranayama video that has Uddiyana. Watch that and then come back. If you're pregnant, you're not doing Uddiyana at all. So if you're pregnant, what you're doing instead is horse stance, feet 4 feet apart, toes out 45-degree angle. You're either doing back traction with hands on your thighs, telescoping the ribs up. If you'd like, you could do twisting horse, only if that feels good. Everyone else, basic Uddiyana. I am going to lift my shirt so you can see my belly. And I'm going to talk you through the first round. We're doing 3 rounds. Hands on your thighs. Bend your knees. Sit bones way back. Don't collapse your chest. Chest is up and forward. Use your hands and your arms for support. Start with a breath in. Exhale forcefully through the mouth. Get empty. Stay empty. Then suction your belly back and up towards the spine. Drop your chin. Before you need to inhale, let your belly go first. I'm going to talk through the second round again. Take another breath in. Exhale forcefully all the breath out. Get empty. Stay empty. Pull the belly back and up towards the spine. Then use the pulling the belly in to actually pull your chest away from your waist. Before you need to breathe in, let your belly go. Do the third round on your own. When you're done, press into your feet strongly. Keep your knees bent. Walk your hands up. Push into your feet to straighten your legs and lift your shoulders over the hips. We're moving into basic suns. This is a good time to grab your blocks. Place them towards the front of your mat on either side. If you need knee padding, you could use your blanket, spread the blanket across the middle of your mat. I have a very thick, sturdy mat, so I'm not going to use extra knee padding. This is also a good time to take a sip of water. Then, everyone meet up in tabletop. Again, if tabletop hurts, grab padding for your knees, and you could also already try tabletop with the hands on blocks, so you're a little more lifted. Everyone pull your belly in a little bit so you're supporting your low back. If your hands feel okay being on the floor, have them on the floor. Knees underneath the hips. Lunge, inhale, step your left foot forward. Now, if you can only get your foot so far, grab your leg and pull it forward. Then you might need to tuck the back toes to send your right knee back a little bit. If the front knee hurts, scoot your left foot forward so the ankle is right underneath the knee. But if you have further to go, hips forward, the knee can bend quite a bit, but keep the left heel on the floor. Press through both feet. Inhale, pull the ribs forward. Squeeze that right sit bone muscle down the back of the right thigh. Get that leg active, supportive for your whole spine, including your spot. Plank pose. Push into that left foot to send the hips back a little bit. Bring both hands to the floor. Breathe in. Tuck the back toes. Exhale, step back. Stay here. Pull the belly in. Pull your front bottom ribs in. Press through your hands. Squeeze the legs towards each other. Squeeze your sit bone muscles down the backs of the thighs. Feel how long your spine is getting. Feel how strong your legs are. Keep all of that happening. Inhale, bring just the knees down. Keep pulling your belly in, shoulder blades away from the ears. Push through the tops of the feet, and as you exhale, come down slowly, elbows bend straight back. Pull the belly in the whole way down. Low cobra. Come into Sphinx first, elbows underneath the shoulders. Curl your pubic bone towards the floor. Already feel how that lengthens your low back a little bit. Squeeze your sit bone muscles so you're also supporting your low back. Press into the thighs, press into the tops of the feet. Inhale, push into the hands, almost like you're dragging the hands towards your armpits, and lift the elbows 2 inches off the floor. Shoulder blades away from the ears. Let your front mid-ribs drape forward. Exhale, pull the chest forward the whole way down. Bring the forehead down, hands underneath the shoulders. Exhale, back into tabletop. Now, I did not say if you're pregnant, you're not coming onto your belly. What you can do instead, a few options on your knees. You could do a chest opener, clasping hands behind the hips, squeezing those sit bone muscles. Or you could do a very baby camel and really work on tractioning and telescoping your ribs up, squeezing the sit bone muscles, sliding your tailbone down. So you're supporting your whole spine, but especially your low back. But everyone, come back into your tabletop and step your right foot forward for lunge. Again, you might have to lift your right arm or use your right hand to bring your leg forward. Hands down, grab blocks if you need them. Inhale, push into both feet. Telescope your ribs away from the hips. Exhale, squeeze the left sit bone muscle, pull your belly in a little bit. Use these poses to make space not only in your spot, but along your spine so that it actually does affect your spot. Inhale, back into tabletop. Exhale, if you have further to go, tuck the toes, come into down dog. Lunge, inhale. If you need to bring the knees down, do that, or just step the right foot forward into lunge. This time, grab your blocks. Place them on the highest edge. Push into your feet. Inhale, telescope the ribs up. Exhale, squeeze your left sit bone muscle down the back of the left thigh. Feel for engaging your thigh muscles, your quads, and your hamstrings. plank. Move your blocks off to the side. Exhale, hands down first. Inhale, tuck the back toes, step back. Pull your belly in, squeeze those sit bone muscles. Lower the knees, keep pulling the belly in. Exhale, lower down, so chest and belly come down at the same time. Slowly. Low cobra, hands forward 12 inches. And curl the pubic bone towards the floor, squeeze those sit bone muscles, get the legs pushing into the floor. Inhale, pull the ribs forward, shoulder blades away from the ears. Exhale, drag the ribs forward, lower down. Hands beneath the shoulders. Exhale, tabletop. If you have further to go, down dog. Lunge, inhale, step your left foot forward. You can use blocks. If you have further to go, hands can be on your thigh. Push into your hands no matter where they are. Inhale, telescope the ribs up. Keep pushing into your feet. Exhale, plank, hands down, step back. Inhale, lower the knees, pull your belly in. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Low cobra. Inhale, drag the ribs forward. Dragging the ribs forward, exhale, lower down. Hands beneath the shoulders, tabletop or down dog. Lunge, inhale, lightly step your right foot forward. Again, you can always lower that back knee. Use blocks or hands on your right thigh. Inhale, telescope the ribs up. Forward fold first. Keep pressing into your feet. Hands down, grab your block. Everyone, we're gonna do it with blocks, so grab your blocks. Hands on the blocks. Keep your front knee bent, tuck your back toes. Then pushing into your right foot, spring your back foot forward. Keep your knees bent. Chest, torso, rest on your thigh. So it's a supported forward fold. Hips way back. Knees mostly over your ankles. They might be a little ahead of the ankles, that's okay. Active feet, spread your toes, press into your feet. Now walk your hands to your thighs. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, hands at heart center. Squeeze your sit bone muscles, send your tailbone down. Inhale, arms up. Now we're gonna forward fold in that supported forward fold. So first, as you exhale, arms down, bend your knees so the hips come way back. Hands on your blocks. Rest your torso or your belly on your thighs. Lengthen the back of your neck. Lunge, inhale, step your, I think we're on the left foot back. Bring the knee down. You can keep using your blocks, hands on the thigh, or if you're ready, arms up overhead. Hands down, so move the blocks out of the way. Setting up for plank. Exhale, step back. Squeeze your legs, squeeze those sit bone muscles. Inhale, knees down. Exhale, lower down, shoulder blades away from the ears. Low cobra. Inhale, drag the ribs forward. Elbows 2 inches off the floor, shoulder blades away from the ears. Exhale, lower down. Tabletop or down dog. Make sure the hands are underneath the shoulders first. Lunge, inhale, lightly step the left foot forward. Grab your blocks if you'd like them, or hands on your thigh or up overhead. Support your spine, support your spot. Breathe in and push into your feet. Supported forward fold. You can do this with the hands down, or if you'd like the blocks, grab them. Exhale, step forward, keep the knees bent. Rest your torso on your thigh, relax your neck. You can either come up with the hands on the thighs if that felt better for you, or everyone, no matter what you're doing, press into your feet, or you can inhale, just roll up, letting the arms hang. Everyone's pressing into your feet, activating your legs to slowly unwind, uncurl. Hands at heart center, slide your tailbone down as you exhale. moving into a B series. Come and stand so that you're facing one of the long ends of your mat. Widen your feet, 4 feet apart, coming into straddle. Then rotate your left toes forward, warrior 2. I'm mirroring you. Push into both feet, send your left knee forward. If possible, have that knee directly over the ankle or the heel. If your knee really hurts, it's okay to straighten it a little bit. But for most of you, knee over the ankle. Shoulders over the back of the hips. Telescoping the ribs, hands on your hips. Elbows back, as much as is available to you. Shoulders down the back, shoulder blades down the back. Push into your feet. Push into your hips with your hands. Inhale, telescope the ribs up. Exhale, squeeze those sit bone muscles to send your tailbone slightly towards the floor. Lengthen your low back, support your whole spine. Get spacious in your core. Push into your hips. Inhale into your side ribs, lifting the bottom ribs up, mid ribs up, top ribs up. Exhale, squeeze your sit bone muscles, send your tailbone down. Feel how that lengthens your low back, making more and more space, even if it's not directly connected into your spot. Warrior 2, bird wing. Relax your arms first. Squeeze the upper arms into your side ribs. Forearms are parallel. Spread your fingers and your palms. Push. Whatever part of your upper arms are touching your ribs, push there. Keep that connection. Inhale, spread your breath into your side ribs. Get them to expand and push back into your arms. Keep the squeeze. Exhale, separate your forearms. Feel your shoulder blades moving towards each other. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, keep the squeeze. Separate your forearms. Broaden the collarbones. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, keep the squeeze. Separate your forearms. Keep squeezing your sit bone muscles. Inhale, come back to center. Float your arms up to unwind. Push into your left foot to straighten your leg. Let your arms relax, parallel your feet. Straddle, standing straddle first. Hands on the hips. Inhale, telescope the ribs. Pull your belly in, squeeze those sit bone muscles. We're moving into horse stance. So rotate your toes out, 45-degree angle, bend your knees, sit on your horse. Hands on your thighs. Push into your hands. This is a back traction here. And you'll notice how telescoping the ribs, especially when you use your hands to help, is a back traction. So push into your active feet, spread the toes, lift the toes. Inhale, push into the hands, telescope your ribs up. Exhale, squeeze your sit bone muscles, send your tailbone towards the floor, and perhaps sink a little deeper into your horse. For those whose low backs can twist, meaning you don't have a disc injury, come into twisting horse. Straighten your left arm. Inhale, twist towards the right. If your right wrist is tweaky, you can bring the forearm onto your thigh. Spread your breath through the left ribs. Exhale, sink a little deeper on your horse. Squeeze those sit bone muscles. Push into your feet. Inhale, come back up through center. Straighten the right arm. Come twisting to the other side. Relax your neck. Exhale. Your shoulders can hike up here. That's okay. But as you exhale, squeeze your sit bone muscles to send your tailbone down and maybe sink a little deeper onto your horse. Push into the feet. Inhale, come back up through center first. Push into the feet to straighten the legs, parallel the feet. Then rotate your right toes out to the side. Warrior two on the other side. Telescoping the ribs. Push into the hips. Inhale, telescope the ribs up. Exhale, squeeze the sit bone muscles to send your tailbone towards the floor. Feel your front, mid, and bottom ribs. Pull them in a little bit. So when you're telescoping up, you're telescoping straight up and not coming into a back bend. Squeeze those sit bone muscles, press into your feet. Inhale, telescope the ribs up. First the bottom ribs, then the mid ribs, then the top ribs. Exhale, pull the belly in. Squeeze those sit bone muscles to send the tailbone towards the floor. Bird wing, relax your arms. Squeeze the upper arms into the side ribs. Spread your breath into your side ribs. Exhale, keep the squeeze. Separate the forearms. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, keep the squeeze. Separate your forearms. And if your right knee is bending, or straightening rather, keep bending it. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, keep the squeeze, separate your forearms. Open up your collarbones. You're feeling for spaciousness in your upper chest. Inhale, come back to center. Float your arms up. Press into that right leg to straighten it. Parallel your feet. Relax your arms. Then, actually, I'm going to do a down dog. So bring your right toes back out. Both hands frame your right foot. Press into your hands, exhale, down dog. You can make this a turbo dog if that's better for you. Warrior two with shoulder shrugs. Lightly step your left foot forward in between the hands. Bring your right heel down to the floor. Press into both feet to float your ribs up. Warrior two. Left knee is bent over the ankle. Then relax your arms. Breathe into the upper back. Hold the breath. Shrug the shoulders straight up. Exhale, squeeze back and drag down your back. Saturate your upper back with breath. Exhale, squeeze straight back. Squeeze, drag down the back. Balloon breath into your upper back. Exhale, squeeze bottom tips of shoulder blades. Add your elbows to squeeze and drag down the back. One more round. Breathe into the upper back. Hold the breath. Shrug the shoulders straight up. Squeeze straight back. Exhale, squeeze. Drag down your back. Spread your breath into the upper back. Exhale, squeeze straight back. So you're broadening your collarbones. Exhale, squeeze and drag down the back. Pulling your belly in. Spread your breath into the upper back. Exhale, squeeze bottom tips of shoulder blades. Add your elbows. Squeeze. Drag down your back. Float your arms up for Eagle Warrior two. Wrap your left arm on top of the right. You could double wrap. You could single wrap if that's better for you. If neither of those work, press your forearms together, or with the left arm on top, hands to opposite outer edges of your shoulders, or they might even touch your shoulder blades. Do what feels most spacious in your upper back, your chest, and especially your shoulder joints. Breathe into your upper back. Exhale, send the elbows forward, hands away from the face. Now, as you breathe into the upper back, connect to that feeling of spaciousness. And if you're not feeling it there, that's okay. Feel spacious in your breath and send it into your spot. Exhale, spread that feeling of spaciousness in a bigger area, sending your breath in a wider circumference around your spot. Then unwind your arms Exhale, bring both hands to the floor. Frame your left foot for down dog or tabletop. Step your right foot forward, warrior two, shoulder shrugs. Ground your left heel into the floor. Press into both feet to float your ribs up. I'm mirroring you, that's why I did that fancy little move. But your right foot is forward. Knee right over the ankle. Spread your breath into the upper back. Hold the breath. Shrug the shoulders straight up. Squeeze straight back. Exhale, squeeze, drag down the back with your shoulder blades. Balloon breath into the upper back. Exhale, squeeze straight back without sticking out your front ribs. Squeeze and drag down your back. Spread breath into the upper back. Exhale, squeeze bottom tips of shoulder blades. Add your elbows, squeeze, and drag down your back. Relax your arms for a second round. Breathe into your upper back. Hold the breath. Shrug the shoulders straight up. Exhale, squeeze back, and drag down the back. Use your shoulder blades. Balloon breath into the upper back. Exhale, squeeze straight back. Squeeze, drag down the back. Relax the front of your neck. Saturate your upper back with breath. Exhale, squeeze bottom tips of shoulder blades. Add your elbows to really get the squeeze and drag down your back. Eagle warrior two, float your arms up. This time it's the right arm wraps on top of the left. Options, double wrap, single wrap. Squeeze your forearms together, or with the right arm on top, you can hug yourself. Breathe into your upper back. Exhale, shoulders down, shoulder blades down, send your elbows forward and hands away from the face. Push into your feet, squeeze those sit bone muscles. Inhale, telescope the ribs up without hiking up your shoulders. Exhale, let your breath be smooth, deep, and long. As you inhale, feel anywhere in this pose that you feel some sort of spaciousness. And that could be in the form of just feeling open and good. Could be in your spot, but it could be somewhere else. And as you exhale, rinse that feeling that you feel in this pose of openness, just feeling good or spaciousness in a wider and wider area. And it might start touching your spot. Unwind, down dog. Windmill your arms, frame your right foot, press into your hands. Exhale, step back. Bring the knees down. Sit down. And then set up for Savasana. So you could lie all the way down with your legs straight. If you've got furniture near you, you could always put the backs of your calves on the seat or on a mattress if you're near a bed. The hips are fairly close so that you support your low back. Another way to support your low back, lying on the floor, is keep your knees bent, have your feet as wide as your mat, and knock the knees together. Sometimes I do a variation of this where the knees don't actually touch. That sometimes feels better around my sacrum and my low back. But if your low back feels spacious and comfortable, you could straighten your legs. And if your low back is arcing away from the floor a little bit, or a lot rather, tuck or bring the heels back to the floor just enough so you can press into them, scoop your tailbone towards the back of the knees, get your low back to touch the floor if possible, and then straighten your legs. Everyone, shoulder blades away from the ears. If your neck is hurting here, you can always grab a throw pillow or your blanket and place it underneath the back of the skull. Let your breath settle back into its automatic breath. Let it quiet No ujjayi sound.